Am I the a-hole for refusing to attend my dad's redo wedding to his affair partner? So I'm a 27-year-old female. My parents divorced 2 years ago after my dad, a 52-year-old male, had an affair with his now fiance, 38-year-old female. It destroyed my mom, who was completely blindsided. Now, he's getting remarried and sent me an invitation with the family written in gold ink. He called and said, "I'd love for you to walk me down the aisle this time, since I'm the one starting over." I told him I won't attend a wedding that celebrates the person who blew up our family. He got upset and said I'm punishing him for finding happiness. My siblings are split, one is going and the other isn't. I love my dad, but this feels gross. Am I the a-hole for refusing to go to his redo wedding? Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between leaving your wife and finding somebody else, but literally destroying the family. Ooh. Someone says, not the a-hole at all. Your dad has some serious audacity asking you to walk down the aisle after he nuked the wedding for his affair partner. That finding happiness line is pure manipulation when he's the one who chose to blow up everything in the first place. Someone else said, quoting him, "Since I'm the one starting over." The man cheats on his wife and tears the family apart, and he really thinks he is the one starting over? Yeah, that's another thing too. If he's gonna cheat on his past wife, how do we know he's not going to cheat on the next wife if something quote unquote better comes along, or maybe someone else will find him happy? Like, how many redos do you get? Someone else said, not the a-hole. Actions have consequences. You don't owe attendance at a wedding built on betrayal. He's confusing your lack of participation with punishment. It's actually self-respect. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve happiness, but how can he expect any of his children to attend after he broke what I assume was originally a loving family? What do I do? My boyfriend wants to cover my face when we sleep together. Find you a new man. Me and my boyfriend have been dating officially for a year now. I'd say things are mostly great. The relationship issues have mostly come from my insecurities that he probably made, sorry. And the only real fights we've had, I take full responsibility for being the one in the wrong. He's autistic and often doesn't beat around the bush when it comes to telling me what he thinks, which is great, but occasionally it leads to situations where I can't help but feel very hurt. A major one is the fact that the first time we slept together, and other times too, he asked if he could put a pillow over my face. I sort of joked and asked if my face is that ugly, and he just said he found the rest of me more attractive, basically. I haven't really been able to let this go, mostly because I'm already very insecure about my appearance. I'm a little chubby, and on a good day, I feel average. My face isn't that great, with a big birthmark, but I thought I had sort of gotten past that when we started dating. I want to sort of hear other people's thoughts on this. This is my first relationship, so I have nothing to compare to. What do I do in a situation like this where your partner might not find all of you physically attractive? Yeah, yeah, yeah. This breaks my heart. First of all, you're gorgeous. Someone said the first time he said that, I wouldn't be there anymore. He probably isn't even aware of how messed up that is to say to someone you claim to love. I don't care. Not my job to teach him how not to be a jerk. Facts. Someone else said, I've dated multiple women with autism before, and most of them were still the kindest people I know. One in particular, though, would use her autism to justify borderline cheating and abuse. Someone else said it's possible that he's not hiding behind his autism. Depending on his support needs, he may genuinely not understand. However, it is still hurtful, and regardless of whether he understands or not, that doesn't make it any less crappy to say, and you would still be within your rights to leave. Yeah, my sister used to date someone who was on the spectrum of autism, and he would call her fat, but that's not saying like every person who's autistic will treat you that way. These are just very specific scenarios, but he would talk about her weight, but I don't know if it was insecurity from himself or yeah, like he just didn't understand. But that doesn't mean like every single autistic person is that way. But yeah, not cool. Yeah, no. Someone said, I'm autistic and 1000% agree with you. I would have kicked him out on the spot and broken up with him. And someone else said, what the F? Like, what? And also, doggy style, for F's sake. I'm autistic, my husband's autistic, and I think I could confidently say that if either of us pulled that crap, we would not be married anymore. That is 100% not a remotely responsible request. And she responded, thank you for your input from an autistic perspective. Someone else said, I'm also autistic. He is just being an a-hole. At his grown age, he knew that would be hurtful, regardless of autism. Yeah. And someone else said, that doesn't give him a pass to be an a-hole. Yeah. But this doesn't obviously go against autism or anything like that. Like, am I the a-hole for telling my wife to get a job before the end of January or I'm divorcing her? My wife is 33-year-old female and I am a 34-year-old male. Have been married since 2013. We have 3 kids, 14-year-old male, 6-year-old male, and 2-year-old female. She has had 2 jobs that she kept for a month both times, FedEx and a grocery store. I don't consider the 3rd job she had a job because she didn't get paid. All these were in 2017 and nothing since. Anyway, we end up in the negative every month, like deep in the negative, $500 to $600 every single month, no matter what I do. No matter how many doubles I work, and my wife just sits at home on her butt all day long. She barely cleans, she barely watches our toddler. She lets her do whatever she wants, and she just sits at her computer writing, which is another job. She's kept up for 5 years and gives us maybe 10 cents every 3 months, maybe. And she has 18 books out. It's BS and useless. I got tired of it. So in December, I told her if she didn't have a job by the end of January, I would leave because I'm fed up with all of it. She hasn't even tried. She says she has, but she hasn't. I checked her computer history almost every single day. She's on Google Docs all day long, YouTube all day long, Spotify all day long, and maybe Indeed for 20 minutes after she drops her sons off. I need help, and she's doing absolutely nothing to help me. Am I the a-hole for telling her to get a job before the end of the month? Someone said there is so much missing information here, including why you kept impregnating her after y'all have no money. Someone else said I'm probably the odd one out, but what I get from this is he wanted kids and a wife. Now he's failing to provide for them. He wants to blame her now. And someone else said the 2-year-old would still need to go to daycare. So even if she was working, depending on her background, their accounts would still be in the negative. Yeah. Someone else said, well, that's not a realistic deadline in today's job market. Yeah, literally, I'm an engineer and it took me, I was literally graduating in May and I was applying for jobs for 6 months and it took me 6 months to get a job with an engineering degree freshly out of college. It was extremely hard. Am I the a-hole? Mother babysat my child today. So these are some texts from, I guess, the child's grandmother, aka her mother. What the F could you possibly be doing that you don't know how to answer your effing phone or respond to text messages when I have your child? Like, how effing irresponsible is that? Hello? Who the F are you with? Are you drinking? Are you doing drugs? Like, what the F is your problem? This is so irresponsible of you. Like, what the F are you effing doing? I'm literally going to cancel your effing cell phone. Seriously, you're so effing stupid. Roll the F up and stop effing lying that you're going to places when I know you just drop off your child because you're going to F somebody. Absolutely effing disgusting the way you act. You just take off like you didn't even effing say goodbye to her today. Literally disgusting. If there was an emergency, you wouldn't even effing know, a-hole. And the woman responded, what the F is your problem? We are literally eating food, question mark. So, I am a single mother to a 3-year-old. Her father isn't very involved at this point, so he only sees her a few hours a week. I work full-time and my daughter comes to work with me. I also work for my mother. My mother was very abusive towards me growing up, but my father passed, and she's really the only one to help me with my daughter. I'm 27 years old. My mother comes and stays at our family house, sometimes to watch my daughter. I've never been away from my mother more than 5 hours, never slept out of the house, and also haven't had anyone other than my mom or her father watch her. I went with my friend today, asked my mom in advance if she could babysit. I went to get a few books from Barnes & Noble, then get food and watch a few shows while we were eating. My mom texted me back at 4:37 saying hello, followed by a phone call. When I realized I missed her call and a text at 4:45, she was spam texting me the craziest things. I don't do drugs, I never drink, and I don't go out to sleep around ever. I feel bad for her because I know if she's this mean towards me, she's battling a lot. Am I the a-hole for wanting to cut her out of our lives completely? I told her she isn't watching my daughter again because this was insane. Hmm. I can see both perspectives because I've seen where irresponsible mothers have just given their babies to the grandparents or someone and literally been gone to those types of like drug activities and stuff like that. But I also can see the other point of view where just having an abusive mother where you ask in advance, everything seems to be going fine, and then all of a sudden you do one wrong thing, or not even a wrong thing, you just miss something and then it becomes an explosion. Someone said you should never let someone that was abusive to you watch your child. Someone said, this is why I cut off contact with my mom. After I had my kid, she was still being abusive towards me. Yeah, I think the right decision is to step away.